Welcome to some new r/malicious compliance stories, where people comply to the letter, but not the spirit of a request. I hope you had a great day. The first story is called Fresh Compliance. This was a year or two ago when Amazon Fresh was opening up new stores in London. For anyone not familiar with them, you just walk in, take what you want, then walk out. Your Amazon account gets built as they use cameras and sensors. So I used the one in White City after it had just opened. I went in just for the novelty factor and got a few things. I found a couple of pricing errors, in my favor, a couple of really big pricing errors. I had done the decent thing and told Amazon, expecting a thank you. But instead I got a call from an irate call handler, insisting I got and was charged the correct amount and I wasn't overcharged and wasn't due anything back. I repeatedly tried in vain to say no, you've undercharged me, but she was having none of it, so I gave up. Naturally, after the call I changed my tube commute for a 5-minute longer route and I went in each day and bought only those items priced wrong. Suffice to say, I have enough toiletries for a few years. Also, I'm now sickened by a pricey cheesecake brand and have gone off halloumi cheese. The next story is called Drive It There. I worked for this horrendous a-hole when I was 19 for $8 an hour and he hated that I worked 2 other jobs. I never missed a shift, but he would work me late on purpose, knowing I would only get 4 hours of sleep before school, just so I might quit one or both of my other jobs. Anyway, I show up to work for my 4 PM shift, and my boss tells me to take the backhoe down to ABC Business, because we have a crew of 10 guys ready to load gear onto pallets, and I need to put them on the truck. Well, ABC Business was 5 miles away, and the tractor only goes 15 miles per hour top speed, so I'm like, are you sure? It's only a 2-lane road most of the way and... He cuts me off and says, quit arguing, if you say another word, you are fired. I was mad, I don't take disrespect kindly, and it certainly wasn't worth $8 an hour. So I get about 20 minutes into my drive and he starts blowing my phone up. The tractor is loud, so I played it off like I didn't hear the phone, back before people mostly put their phones on vibrate. So I drove the rest of the way and kindly called my boss back to inform him the location was empty and nobody showed up. Of course he meant the old location. And although he suspected me of malicious compliance, he chalked it up to the incompetence of a 19-year-old kid and sent everyone else home with 2 hours pay. He was so furious because he couldn't yell at me for being dumb. And I got the rest of the night off after my long drive home, pulling over every 30 feet or so to let people pass on the highway. Little wins are all we get sometimes, and I savor this one 12 years later. The third story is called Fire Permit. The volunteer fire brigade had a hazard reduction burn. The area to be burned was some swampy ground at the end of an active airport, but beyond the airport boundary. Attempts were made to include the said airport in the planning, but the airport ignored the messages, eventually replying with the message. Since this hazard reduction burn is being undertaken outside of airport boundaries, the airport is not going to participate in the planning stage. So we finalize the plan, submit the plan and get our fire permit, including restrictions on wind speed. So the day I rise for the burn, we start late in the afternoon checking wind speed. All good. So we light up. Because of the nature of being a swamp, there's lots of green fuel and easily burning plants. We got some impressive flames, 10 to 20 meters high, and the smoke the small fire is putting out is thick, acrid and filled with embers. The first visitor is an army Chinook that orbits the fire, the pilot probably having Black Summer flashbacks. Then we have the local police visit, then the aviation fire visit. Each visitor our first officer meets, grinning ear to ear with our fire permit, which we are following to the letter. Now the reason everyone suddenly took a vested interest was that while the permit had restrictions on wind speed, it did not list any restrictions on wind direction. And on that day, the airport was downwind, with the fire right in the flight path for takeoffs. The last story is called Phone Troubles. This happened a couple of days ago in Hollywood. I traded up my phone for the holidays on AT&T's website and arranged a pickup in my nearest store. The receipt I had for the pickup said that the phone was being held until December the 30th, so I go in on the 29th to pick it up. I needed to get to work and I wasn't going to be available to leave work during business hours, so it had to be then. I was hoping the whole process would take 15 minutes. It didn't. I get there and the individual, Alan, tells me that my phone wasn't available because I had waited too long and they had cancelled my pickup, even though I had until the next day to do so. I show him the email that says that, and he shrugs his shoulders, and he says that they cancelled the order because they counted the day I placed the order as one of the days towards cancellation, which is obviously stupid. Then he offers to sell me the phone that I was trying to pick up, because it's impossible for me to pick up the phone that was being held for me. I just want my phone, so I agree to go through the purchase process. And as it turns out, I will have to pay for the phone again and let AT&T refund the funds for the original order. Major BS. But again, this is all the time I have to pick up my phone. I asked him for the phone number for someone I can speak with about what is going on, and he tells me I need to speak to customer retention and gives me a phone number he pulls off a list. So he goes through the process, and by then I'm late for work, and he tells me he's having problems selling me the last unit of the phone I wanted to purchase. He tries to upsell me. I tell him that I want the phone I ordered, and tells me that he's having some trouble because the system is not letting him sell that unit. It's the last unit he has, so he needs to take extra steps to sell it to me. So now he goes on his phone and makes some phone calls to try and unlock this unit. Meanwhile, he leaves me alone long enough to find out that the phone number he gave me was BS. It led to a non-working extension for AT&T and it would just stay on hold. I went on Google and discovered this by finding the actual customer retention phone number and calling it. So now I'm speaking with a customer retention specialist and I explain to him what is happening over the phone. The retention specialist confirms that yes, my phone is available for pickup and has not been cancelled. Meanwhile, on his phone I can hear Alan speaking with someone at AT&T. The person he's speaking with says over the speakerphone, "I can't allow you to sell that phone, it's being held until tomorrow for customer pickup." So I asked the person on Alan's phone to repeat that and confirmed that yes, Alan was trying to sell me the phone that I had already purchased and was there to pick up. Then I asked the customer retention person I'm speaking with if he has heard the other individual's comment. The customer retention rep confirms that he heard what the other AT&T rep has said. And the retention rep asked me to confirm the store number I'm located at and the name of the person I'm speaking with. At that point, Alan, upon realizing I'm speaking with customer retention and retention heard everything he's trying to do with my phone, tells me to leave the store and tells me he's going to call the police if I don't. The customer retention rep on the phone hears him kick me out of the store. So I didn't get my phone that day, but I did have it delivered to my house the next day via UPS, which was nice. And I did get to have a conference call with a regional manager from AT&T, along with a supervisor at customer retention and a manager for third-party dealer locations, while the customer retention specialist confirmed everything I was telling them. I didn't get my phone that day, but I did ruin someone else's, and that was way more satisfying. And with that, we end today's video. Let me know what you think about the stories. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the stories and today's video? I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. And I hope you have a great day. Stay safe. Bye bye.